Alright guys, we are working on application page 156, and this is where they're asking us to write how many molecules or formula units are in each substance. So the first question is, for one, we have 3NH4. Now, since you guys have all memorized what the names are for these, you'll remember that this one is nitrogen and this one is hydrogen. And whenever you see the number out front, that means there's 3 molecules of the entire thing. In this case, we have a molecule that has nitrogen, and then it has hydrogen attached to it, 4 of them. But what we're saying is we have 3 of these total molecules, so we would have to take 3 and multiply it by each one of those. So as far as the number of molecules there would be, there's 3 because that's the number that's out front. And then as for how many nitrogen, you would just multiply the 3 times the number of nitrogen molecules or nitrogen atoms that are in that chemical. Whenever there's no subscript, for instance, if there's just 1, they don't actually write the 1 on it. They just understand that it's given that if there's no subscript, there's a 1, so it would just be 3 times 1 would be 3 nitrogen molecules. And then we do 3 times 4 for 12 hydrogen molecules. Very simple. So it's a very simple process. And by the way, I hope you guys all try this now. Why don't you pause the video and try and do the next one on your own before I give you the solution. It's important that you try these on your own, because if I just give you the solutions every time, you're not going to really learn. So try the next one, and then I'll give you the solution. So now that you have paused and tried to do that, the next question is 5NaCl. This is NaCl is sodium chloride. And we all know that as salt. In this case, we have 5 formula units because there's the number 5 out front, and then again there's no subscript for each one of these atoms. Since there's no subscript, then we understand that it's 5 sodium and 5 chloride. So it's very simple, 5 sodium and 5 chloride. Let's look at the next problem, 3. And why don't you go ahead and pause again and try to do this one on your own before I give you the solution. Well, this next one is H2O2. That is a common chemical that we have that is called hydrogen peroxide. Now, the number of molecules this has, there's no number out front. Whenever there's just 1, it's understood, and they don't put the 1 out front. So, as far as the number of molecules, we have 1 molecule of this chemical. How many hydrogen there are? Well, there's 2. And how many oxygen? There is 2 oxygen. Okay, let's look at the next one. Number 4. We have 4Fe2O2. This would be iron oxide. Fe is iron, O oxygen, oxide, iron. And so as far as how many chemical units or formula units there are, there's 4 formula units because there's a 4 out front. Now, the question next is how many iron there are. Well, you take the 4 and you multiply it by 2 because there's 2 atoms in every molecule of this. So 4 times 2 would be 8. And the same thing with the oxygen. 8 oxygen. Let's look at 5. A little bit bigger numbers now. We have 2C4H8, which we have carbon and hydrogen. So we have 2 molecules because that's the number that's out front. We have 4 carbon for each one of these molecules, there's 4 carbon attached. So if we have 4 times 2, that'd be 8 carbon. And then we have 8 hydrogen atoms for every molecule. So we have 16 hydrogen. And the last one, number 6. Can you do it on your own? We've done it pretty simply from this point on. We have 2 C12 H22 O11. So we have 2 molecules, and each one of those molecules has 12 carbon, 22 hydrogen, and 11 oxygen. So then we would have to take 2, since we have 2 of those molecules, we have 2 times 12 would be 24 carbon, 2 times 22 is 44 hydrogen, and then 2 times 11 would be 22 oxygen. That's it. Hopefully you guys have tried to do this on your own to see how we make these, understand how many atoms are in each little chemical. Thanks.